Subhas Chandra Bose was born on 23 January 1897 in Cuttack, Odisha, to Janaki Nath Bose and Prabhavati Devi. Janaki Nath Bose was one of the successful lawyers in Cuttack and received the title of Rai Bahadur. He later became a member of the Bengal Legislative Council. He was a very intelligent and sincere student but never had much interest in sports. He passed his BA English in Philosophy from the Presidency College in Calcutta. He was strongly influenced by Swami Vivekananda's teaching and was known for his patriotic zeal as a student. He also adored Vivekananda as his spiritual guru. Subhas Chandra Bose decided to take revenge after reading so many incidents about the exploitations of the fellow Indians by the British. In 1916, Subhas reportedly beat and thrashed one of his British teachers, E.F. Orton. The professor made a racist remark against Indian students. As a result, Subhas Chandra Bose was expelled from the Presidency College and banished from the Calcutta University. The incident brought Subhash in the list of rebel Indians. In December 1921, Bose was arrested and imprisoned for organizing a boycott of the celebrations to mark the Prince of Wales's visit to India. Subhash Chandra Bose's father wanted him to become a civil servant and therefore sent him to England to appear for the Indian Civil Service examination. Bose was placed fourth with the highest marks in English, but his work for participating in freedom movement was intense that April 1921. Bose resigned from the coveted Indian Civil Service and come back to India. Zone he left home to become an active member of India's independence movement. He later joined the Indian National Congress and also elected as the president of the Youth Wing Party. Subhas Chandra Bose worked under the leadership of Chittaranjan Das, an active member of Congress in Calcutta. It was Chittaranjan Das who, along with Motilal Nehru, left Congress and founded in Swaraj Party 1922. Subhas would regard Chittaranjan Das as his political guru. While Chittaranjan Das was busy in developing the national strategy, Subhash Chandra Bose played a major role in enlightening the students, youth, and labourers of Calcutta. He was eagerly waiting to see India as an independent federal and republic nation. India Freedom Struggle Congress was a large organization. Subhash Chandra Bose became a strong leader in Congress and he made brave attempt to mold the entire party differently. Congress party was always lenient and never in a position to oppose. Subhash Babu outrightly opposed this behavior. This opposition was against Gandhi's philosophy. Therefore, Mahatma Gandhi and other leaders were hurt, and since then they opposed him. Congress party had undertaken a mission of opposing his every thought, insulting him, and to stifle his high-flying ambitions. In this maneuver of Congress, many a time he left suffocated. Once there was a picture of Subhash Chandra Bose against the entire Congress party. It was first elections of Congress that time. Usually closer aid of Mahatma Gandhi used to get elected, but this time Subhash Chandra Bose got elected with higher votes. This insulted Gandhi's groups, which lead to their less interest of thinking towards the party's campaign for independence. In order to acknowledge outside support and get freedom, he journeyed to far away Germany, Japan. When it was period of Second World War, he decided to induce soldiers from outside to get freedom. Nehru at the time said, if Subhash would bring soldiers from outside and enter India, then I would be the first person to wield a sword and oppose him. That was extent to which they detested Subhash Babu. Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose against rendering any kind of help to British during the World War II. He warned them so. The Second World War broke out in September of 1939, and just predicted by Bose, India was declared as a warring state by Governor General without consulting Indian leaders. The Congress party was in the power in 7 major states, and all state governments resigned in protest. He now started a mass movement against utilizing Indian resources and meant for the Great War. To him, it made no sense to further bleed poor Indians for the sake of colonial and imperial nation. There was a tremendous response to his call, and the British promptly imprisoned him. He took to a hunger strike, and after his health deteriorated on the 11th day of fasting, he was freed and was placed under house arrest. The British could do nothing except locking him in the prison. It was in 1941 that Subhas Chandra Bose suddenly disappeared. The authorities did not come to know for many days that he was not in his barrack. He travelled by foot, car and train, and resurfaced in Kabul only to disappear once again. In November 1941, his broadcast from German radio sent shock waves among the British and electrified and Indians message to realize that their leader was working on a master plan to free their motherland. It also gave fresh confidence to the revolutionaries in India who were challenging the British in many ways. The Axis powers assured Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose military and other help to fight the British. Japan by this time had grown into another strong world power, occupying key colonies of Dutch, French and British colonies in Asia. Netaji Bose had struck alliance with Germany and Japan. He rightly felt that his presence in the East would help in countrymen in freedom struggle and second phase of his Saha Began. It is told that he was last seen on land near Kiel Canal in Germany in the beginning of 1943. A most hazardous journey was undertaken by him underwater, covering thousands of miles, crossing enemy territories. He was in the Atlantic, the Middle East, Madagascar and the Indian Ocean. Battles were being fought over land, in the air and there were minutes in the sea. And one stage he travelled 400 miles in rubber dinghy to reach Japanese submarine, which took him to Tokyo. He was warmly received in Japan and declared head of Indian Army, which consists of about 40,000 soldiers from Singapore and other eastern regions. These soldiers were united by another great revolutionary, Rash Bihari Bose. Rash Bihari handed over them to Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. Subhas Chandra Bose called it in the National Army, and government by the name Azad Hind Government was declared on 21st October 1943. Subhas Chandra Bose was wanted to free India from the Eastern Front. He had taken care that Japanese interference was not present from any angle. Army leadership, administrations and communications were managed by Indians only. Subhash Brigade, Azad Brigade and Gandhi Brigade were formed. INA marked through Burma and occupied Coxtown on the India border. A touching scene ensued when the soldier entered in the free motherland. Some lay down and kissed, some placed a piece of Mother Earth on the heads, others wept. They were now inside India and were determined to drive out the British. Delhi Chalo was the war cry. The bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki changed the history of mankind. Japan had to surrender. Although it was believed that Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose died in a plane crash, his body was never recovered. The government of India set up a number of committees to investigate the case and come out with truth.